Hi. So this is my response video to the whole Gulenko typing. And basically for everyone who's already familiar with Socionics, because I'm sure you already have an idea of what Socionics is if you're looking at this Russian YouTube channel. Just specifically for, response videos on typings. I usually type as an EII in Socionics. I've been very familiar with typology for like probably like 10 years or whatever. And I've always typed as an EII. And I got EIE with the subtypes NH, so normalizing, harmonizing. And I was pretty surprised by the feedback. The reality is that I got some of Gulenko students to type me beforehand, and I also got EIE and H. And then I wanted to do a Gulenko typing just to make sure that that's the type I actually am. And it's actually reaffirming that I got the same typing. So it does lend to some of the credibility of his model that his students and himself, have a consensus of what my type is, which means that there is some consistency in identifying types. Um, what I will say from the experience is that you should not come into this typing thinking that you're a certain type. For one thing, Model G is vastly different, even from the definitions of the functions themselves. FE doesn't directly translate to E, FI doesn't directly translate to R, et cetera, et cetera. And I think one of the things that made me realize or like accept my typing better is that watching the archetypes of different types and clearly seeing that I am an E base in comparison to other types with lower energy E, where they're not as expressive, they're not as lively. You can clearly see the difference that I am an E base, even though that I can seem a bit reserved and yeah, introverted. You can still see how my emotions clearly reflect on my face. And one of my realizations actually from this typing is that yeah, I actually am very expressive. I grew up in an environment where being expressive wasn't really encouraged, and it was sort of seen as a negative thing. Similar with being sensitive, emotionally sensitive and stuff. So I think growing up, that's something that I repressed in myself, that I shouldn't be that way. And it took me years and like people, actually noticing that I am actually expressive to finally realize that that's a good thing and that that's something that I should embrace within myself. And I've also had experiences where it sort of changed me and sort of made me um, identify with the EII stereotype of, being very empathetic and kind and understanding, which I still am. But I think that's one of the reasons why I over-identified with being an EII. And I think there's no other system out there that's going to identify layers within your personality. And I think it's very, very cool that Model G can do that. It could like see through your own cognitive biases of how you see yourself, of how you think you are, and really identify your core type, which I think is really cool. Like, where else would I have gotten this? No other system allows for that layers. And I do think this will give me like a lot more acceptance for myself and for the gifts that I have to offer to people in the world. And yeah, I think it was an overall very, very positive experience. In terms of the timing of everything though, I hear like the feedback for your results varies. So for some people it takes like a month. For someone I know it took them a week. My typing took like a little over 2 weeks. So your mileage might vary, but I highly encourage anyone to do this. It's very cool. And I really appreciate the typing. So yeah. Thank you.